Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another Division video, and today we're going to be talking about the Navy MP5 and the Vector 45 ACP, and we're going to be comparing these two weapons to figure out and tell you guys what weapon is good for what situation. So I have a little bit of a list right here of things that I want to talk about, things like damage, mag size, recoil, range, DPS. You guys know what I'm talking about. We're going to be comparing these two weapons in as many ways as we possibly can, so you guys can use these weapons at the right time and the right moment. So we're going to start off with some of the basic things, just for the sake of this video and the sake for people. I will say this right now, these are both blueprinted weapons, so you guys can get these with Phoenix credits. I think they're like 100 and I think the Navy one's like 137 credits. It's obviously not in the thing anymore, but that's how much they were. These are both blueprints, so I'm sure they'll come up in the rotation for the vendor sometime soon. I couldn't tell you guys when, but I assure you guys they probably will end up being in the rotation, but they might not be the same gear score. They might end up probably being higher, which means they'll be higher in DPS and all that good stuff. I did also make these guns to their base damage, so I took off all their attachments. I took everything off, so you guys can see the two different damages for the guns. This is with my DPS, so you guys can obviously see my armor right here. I have a few decent good things on, but just for the sake of this video, I just took all the attachments off it so you guys don't think something different or I changed something. So let's get right into this. So the first thing we're going to be talking about is the mag size for the two guns. You guys can see the Vector only has a 20 round mag, base damage, base gun, no attachments on it, which is kind of bad, but you guys can see the damage is over 3,000 DPS higher, so, or just 3,000 damage higher. You guys see the Navy Vector obviously has a 32 round mag, so if you guys have a decent extended mag attachment, I'd recommend getting a high-end one. There's a blueprint for that one, I believe, in one of the vendors. I don't know if it's still there, I haven't checked, but you could probably get a 40 round mag for the Vector. And with the Navy, you can get around a 64, I think is the highest you can get. 64 round mag, which is pretty insane. If you get a extended mag that has, plus magazine size and fire rate, you can get this RPM up to 900 or even 900 with this Vector if you get a decent one. But we did talk about the two damages. For the most part, I'm not really going to talk about the accuracy, range, stability, reload, because as you guys can see right here, they're essentially the same. I don't really find a difference with reload time. I know there's a few attachments you can get that put the reload size a little bit higher, but in my opinion, I don't really think it makes a difference, or at least I don't feel a difference, to be honest. You guys can see they're both 182 gear scores. But one thing I did want to test out with you guys is the recoil pattern. I know this only has a 20 round mag and this has 32 round mag, but I'll just shoot a clip off for you guys to see what the recoil pattern is with each gun with no attachments on it. Obviously, it'll be different if you put a grip on there. So we'll do the Navy MP5 first. So I'm just going to hold the trigger down. I'm not going to let off of it. And then I'll shoot it for you guys with, kind of like bursting it like this. If you guys have decent, you guys can, usually get a hold of it pretty good. But with the grip, it'll obviously be a lot less. With the Vector, obviously it has a 20 round clip, so it's probably not going to kick as high as other guns did. So you guys can see right there, the recoil is not bad at all. Let's do it again. Now I'll kind of just burst fire it. So you guys can obviously see the recoils a little bit, but the one thing I want to talk about is PvP, the Dark Zone PvP, just using the guns to kill enemies or killing them to kill mobs, using the gun to kill mobs, But obviously with the Navy MP5 and the Vector, they're both essentially very similar guns with, recoil pattern, essentially the accuracy, reload speed, range, and stability. The big difference between these two is the damage and the magazine size. The fire rate's essentially the same, but for the most part, people like to say, and in my opinion, I used to use this gun, but the Navy MP5 is more or less for kind of just killing mobs, to be completely honest. Unless you get a pretty god roll with talents, I don't really have too good of these. Capable and self-preserve is pretty bad, but I do have destructive, which is pretty decent on this. But for the most part, when you put extended mag on this gun, it has a 61 to 64 round magazine, which is super, super good. But the damage isn't very good compared to the Vector. So if you guys are going to the Dark Zone, for instance, and you guys are going to, just try to level up normally, you're not trying to go rogue or anything, I would highly recommend to use the Navy MP5 or just the regular MP5 high-end if you guys have it. They're both, for the same use, but for the Vector, in my opinion, this is definitely more useful to kill people and get rogue and go on manhunts and all that good stuff. I really would recommend, though, I really recommend to put a really good extended mag. If you have maybe only one and you don't want to put on the Vector, still put on the Vector. I just can't, I don't know how many times I died because I don't have enough ammo on my clip. When I had my old extended mag attachment, I only had like a 32 round clip on this with the extended mag. It was really trash. It was a purple one. But then I got up, I had to do it. I just bought the extended mag, the high-end extended mag blueprint. It was like I think it was 90 Phoenix credits or something, or 100 Phoenix credits. It wasn't that bad. I mean, it's totally worth it since you can craft it as many times as you want. And you can craft it to get different things on it. Like it'll have magazine size and then maybe fire rate or crit hit damage. You can't lose out on that really. I mean, you can do it as many times as you want as long as you have the, the stuff for it. But for the most part, I really recommend running the Vector for, going rogue in the DZ. I mean, both can be useful for the same thing. The only good thing about the Navy MP5, if you're going to use it to go rogue, is you're definitely going to have enough bullets to kill at least one person with it if you have extended mag attachment on it. It's going to be around 50 to 64 bullets in a clip, so you can't go wrong with either of these guns, to be completely honest. But at the end of the day, the Vector is going to be a little bit better to go rogue and kill enemies, as long as you have decent action in this game and you have a decent extended mag attachment on the gun. And then at the end of the day, the Navy MP5 is going to be a lot better for killing hordes than the Vector is. So either way, they're both really good weapons. You can't go wrong with either of them. But once again, at the end of the day, there are these little things that, sort out each weapon and put them in their own category. So if you guys did enjoy this video, if you guys want to make another one, maybe an M1A compared to, the M44 or the MK17, I have no problem making those. I have both those weapons. So if you guys enjoy this, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you guys are new. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.